Nice. Oh, they're gonna disappear.
Whoop.
Yep.
Let's see. But yeah, I'm actually going to switch Dar back on for Kushi at least for a little while. Just stretching my hands. This is one of those games that's actually a little hard on... Oh, boy.
Uh-oh. She's down, and that's because she was already injured from the platforming, wasn't it?
Focus.
There we go.
Okay, great. I do not like how the rock platform has made its way into the battlefield.
Not so fast.
Yeah, it's not only has it made its way into the battlefield.
It's actually limiting where your camera can move.
Right on top.
No, it's changing the tempo of attacks.
My equipment.
Are they faster?
Yeah.
My equipment.
I haven't seen them give you breath to actually mount attacks of your own. Okay, there you go.
Okay, that big guy is
Not so fast.
kind of hurty. Okay. I gotta heal a bit more than I...
Do you know what's interesting? I was thinking back to the heroes that were shown at the very beginning of the story, and how we thought for sure that the blue-eyed boy and the woman were her parents. But Indir didn't look at all like what that man would have been when he grew
Right on
up.
target. Special delivery.
No.
I don't know. It's just an interesting thought.
It's just the woman looked very much...
The woman looks exactly like her, except far older,
Pointless.
with longer hair and such. But the guy, he always had white hair, but there are those blue eyes, and he looked very much like a, I don't want to say the epitomous, like, pretty boy that you have in an anime, but he resembled that.
Well, maybe it's what happens when anime pretty boys grow up.
But does it mean that they weren't teenagers back then? That'd be weird because she was born right after.
Was she? Oh, yeah,
The
16 years
calamity
later.
16 years ago. 16 years later, so... Assuming they had her the year after they defeated this thing, they didn't really have time to grow up anymore. And in 15 years, would he really go from that young boy... Well, he was a young man, I can say, to someone with a beard, and
Damn it. This is awkward.
because he looked very old. He looked like he could be her grandfather, not father. You know?
Mm-hmm.
Do you think it could have been a situation where he raised her as his daughter even though he was, like, was Indir really her father? Or is he someone that was an adopted father? Or even
Right on target.
another relative that took her in?
A pinch of this.
Stone.
Not gonna happen.
There we go. Maybe you don't... I think I was wrong. I had previously made a comment
Look out below.
about perfect blocks heal you.
Aerial assault.
Maybe
And
they
I
give you
think
more
I'm
attacks,
wrong.
But then again, I'm not the one that controls.
Let's see. I think perfect blocks just means heavily reduced damage compared to...
Don't hate me too much.
Let's see. Yeah, it's just heavily reduced damage. It's still helpful. Just hoping it meant heals. Because that'd be hilarious. Yeah, perfect block.
Stone. Pointless. Nailed it.
Unless our timeline's wrong. Maybe maybe the crystals didn't start showing up until, you know, after.
But it went from that opening montage to the village,
We
it
really
was
shouldn't be doing this. It feels wrong to be here. Zebe, didn't your people tell stories about this place?
They did. The elders say that something truly evil is sealed in this mountain.
Most legends about ancient evils are overblown anyway. Half the legends where I'm from are just about me and Bomb.
As long as we're careful and stick together, we'll be all right. Won't we?
I know you're all worried, but I have to do this so my father can pass safely into the next life. You don't have to come with me, but I'm going on. I'm gonna chop his head off.
You've settled on chopping, eh?
I have.
I will follow you to repay my debt for your earlier kindness. I'm honor-bound to do it. But I cannot say I approve of this course.
Yes, we must be mindful. Ravanavar's remaining forces seem to be more concentrated here as well.
the thing is, right after the opening, it said 16 years later. ... whatever
Strike
village.
before they do.
I'd missed that.
Right on target.
Oh
Dude,
god.
this is just a woman's head with intestines and
I am-
lungs and...
I am not super comfortable with that.
A pinch of this.
Right on target. Down you go. Bullseye.
Yeah, is it really just heart, lungs, stomach,
Nice
and then
try.
intestines?
Yep.
Nice try.
Gross.
Mixing it up.
Nailed it.
Well, I don't see liver, kidneys, gallbladder, spleen, pancreas.
Time for a quick blend.
Bullseye. Ha. Ha.
They do even have a little stinger thingamajig for the bladder.
I'll bury you. It's
Wait a
over.
minute. But that should be the end of the... That's definitely more of the rectum than the bladder. Never mind. This
I'm
anatomy
gonna stab
is
you
weird.
with my pooper.
What? Sting with the poop.
It's over. I'll bury you. It's over.
My big stone
Hold your
sword.
applause.
And obviously no reproductive organs. What other things would they be missing?
Oh, it's splatted.
Ooh, ooh, ooh.
Eh.
Oh, a
Oh.
crystal. Oh, yeah. That's probably how you get there. Oh, but they're gonna disappear. Aw.
Yep. The platforming.
Oh, it was supposed to be...
I know.
Yeah.
The platforming in this is not as smooth as some of the other. Some of the other Metroidvanias I've played over the years.
Mhm.
I'm not gonna be able to make that. Yeah. Wish I could reset it, but it's okay. I think once we get more.
Oh, so it's like a cave gremlin. It's very
Don't
pale.
underestimate me.
Yep.
A little of that.
Oh, they're still so creepy.
Right on target.
I
Don't like these things.
don't like. Really, it's just the fact that they have sticks popping out of what would be their eyes.
Yeah, they're weird horror beasts.
Nice try. Bullseye.
They also just look like the kind that would try to jump on you and latch onto your body and suck out your blood or something. Or just nibble.
Feast on your own eyeballs.
Ugh.
Not so fast!
Bullseye. Right on target. I'll bury you. Commence attack.
Yeah, I think we might actually want Turban Man. Tungar?
You don't like Dart? I at least want you to get Dar's heart rating to 0 or +1 at some point.
You're already dead. As expected.
Let's see, if you mash all the buttons, does everyone attack simultaneously? Oh yeah. And it looks real dumb.
Ooh, just all those spikes, crystals. Oh,
There we go.
Great.
Got it.
oh no.
Ow.
It's another one of the dismembered heads with all its entrails still connected. Oh, 2 of them too.
They're not so bad.
I wonder what the myth is behind these ones.
Right on target.
Because it couldn't have just been a simple beheading if they still have everything else.
Yeah, my problem with
attached.
Dart is you spend all this time buffing him up so you can use his stones, and they go away really fast.
So it would be almost like you're preparing a sunbeam, but it gets interrupted or something and you can never attack your next turn.
Nice try.
Yeah, kind of.
Try harder!
Or there's a move that you have to prepare several turns for, and it gets interrupted yet.
Yeah, like he can get 12 stone things.
Ooh,
Ow.
not gonna happen!
Nice try. Nailed it.
There we go.
Ha! Bullseye. Ha!
Because the stones do help. Like, they do drastically increase his damage. But, like, losing the down attack for it is downright rough.
Aw, she's still
Special
not doing very
delivery.
well.
Commence attack.
She must be spitting out stomach acid or
Nailed it.
something.
Yup.
Try harder!
You know what's one thing I've always marveled at?
My equipment!
How your body is very selective about what it has to expunge from it in the case where, say, you have an upset stomach.
I'll bury you.
Because I know that it can do terrible things to your esophagus, but if you think of just how caustic stomach acid is, how is it that anytime you need to upchuck something, you're not inadvertently burning things to the point of oblivion? Like, it just begs the question of how strong stomach acid is.
I mean,
And if it's actually at full strength when you have to...
if you have to
Vomit if
throw
you're
up
unwell.
too often, it actually wrecks your teeth.
Yeah, I know that it can ruin your enamel and your esophagus, but I was just always under the impression that stomach acid is
Nice
really,
try.
really caustic.
Nailed it. Right on target.
I mean, I think it's also exposure.
Stone. Pointless.
My equipment!
I suppose part of it is when I think of acid, I think of the blood from Alien.
Bullseye.
How it was just eating through metal. But our stomach acid probably isn't capable
Nice try.
of corroding metal. Not to that extent.
Nice try.
Most definitely not.
It's all in the technique!
I don't know. Definitely something I'd be interested in looking into.
Down you go. Pathetic. Not quite.
Pinch of this.
It begs the question if scientists can replicate stomach acid outside of an organism.
I'm sure.
Bury you. It's over.
I'm sure it's just some
Some kind of chemical
replicatable
mixture.
organic acid.
I wonder what its pH is.
Pathetic.
Not gonna happen.
I
'Cause
realize that it
neutral
is
is-
topical, but
Yeah?
God, I hate this topic.
Oh, talking about stomach acid pH?
Well, looking at these things, I guess.
Well, yeah, I suppose we aren't fighting the intestinal creatures anymore.
Tear to pieces.
Did it, honey!
Whoa, that's quite the animation.
That's a still. What? pH is 1.5 to 3.5.
Ooh. That's pretty acidic, considering 7 is neutral.
I'm gonna do the dumb thing. Well, it wasn't the dumb thing. Well,
Right on target.
I don't know. When I see a creature, I try to rationalize aspects of its physiology.
I
Try harder!
generally
Never
don't.
mind the fact that it's levitating and that it clearly was once a human
Special
that had
delivery.
been dismembered.
It's over. Commence attack.
Now these guys, I'm surprised their tongue
Nice try.
isn't a dried out. I don't know.
Or
Nice try.
thing? Yeah.
Yeah, it. Actually, I think there's been instances that I've read about where people have tongues that are too large and they, or maybe it's dogs. There's been a couple of dogs where their tongues are too large and they actually risk suffocation by just having something that large blocking their airways. So I just can't imagine those things being able to breathe very well.
So this little area here is something we're gonna have to come back for.
A secret?
Yeah. I need something to get that one. I guess I got it.
Oh hey, you're starting to encounter soldiers.
Yep. I mean, they're...
Oh, that is an odd place to battle.
Yep.
Mixing it up!
Crumble.
Try harder! My equipment! My equipment!
You stop beating on the poor healer.
Time for a quick blend!
Okay, there we kind of go. I mean, took that guy out. The one problem with an environment like this is it's very hard to figure out where the hell the enemy is going and which, like, how high they're, or who they're attacking.
Why is the achievement funded?
They got $2 million on Kickstarter. And so
they're just adding numbers depending on how many purchases there are.
Nailed it.
No, I think it's kind of a celebration for how much funding they got.
I'll have to keep track of it, but it just looks like the number
It goes
going
up to 2 billion. Yeah, that's also something I think I'm gonna have to.
So you're not gonna slide through there
Can't.
first?
There's like a small ledge.
Oh no. One of those monsters, but
Yep.
it has white hair.
Time for a quick blend.
Nailed it. Stone.
Oh, they're creepy. That's a new attack pattern. Oh, there's 3 of them.
And one of them's the recolor.
Yeah, it's sort
So
of
undoubtedly
recolor.
powerful.
Wow.
Oh, ouch.
Yep. On the plus side, as long as I've got that meter up,
Bullseye. Nailed it. Ha.
let's see. As long as I've got that
Pathetic. Pointless. Not quite.
meter up, I can pretty much just revive anyone,
Crumble.
which is kind of nice.
Ha. Bullseye. It's over.
That?
Pointless.
Okay. Yeah, they don't give me a whole lot of
Tear into pieces.
wiggle room,
Serrate.
but I guess that's kind of okay.
Blocked.
Ow. That's a lot of poison.
Nice try.
I do wish for ginseng and honey, they would actually
Perish.
give me a
Not quite. Pointless. Pathetic.
A regen or something?
meter, not a regen, but like a meter for how close she is to like hitting maximum heal. Because I can't just keep, you know, when she like goes up to the enemy and spins the mortar and pestle.
Yeah.
That's actually buffing her next heal, which is really handy.
Blocked. Blocked.
But there's an upper limit
Not gonna
before it stops being super useful. And I don't actually know. I don't actually know what that upper limit it is. I think it's about 5. Wow, that went poorly for everyone involved. Yeah, I think it's about 5. Okay,
Bullseye.
that's easier to work through. But yeah, so we're currently at funded
It's over.
200,000 out of like 2.2 million. So I really don't know. It might also just be like a kind of damage meter.
Ah.
I'll look at the achievement.
Stone.
I just wonder why it's updating
100%
always.
accuracy. Give or take.
I don't know. Exuberance, I guess. Okay, I realize this is kind of a non-stopping point, but I'm actually gonna have to stop.
You're getting tired.
No, my hands hurt.
Oh, ouch. I'm sorry.
Yeah, well, I mean, it's fine. It's just one of these. It's one of those games where it's a
You're
lot of
constant
button mashing constantly, and because
no.
every perfect block I have to mash, and you know it's kind of snap reflexes and stuff, and so it's working out really well. And yeah, I can't wait to see what speed runs and no hit runs of this game will look like.
Ooh.
I don't know if you can do no hit run, but you could definitely do like a.
There might be ways to avoid many fights too. I don't know.
Maybe? Yeah, it'll be interesting to see what the speedrunning community does with this game. Because I can definitely feel the potential there. I'm not going to say it's pushing me. Like, I'm doing really well, comparatively. We've had a couple of dicey fights, but for the most part, I've just been kicking ass my entire way through this game. But it is one of those where it is just a little tough on the fingers after a couple hours. You know, this is like a 3-hour per night game. Which does put a bit of a dampener on our recording, but you know what, that's okay. If we just do 3 hours a night until you leave, that should be okay. Except for like the 1 or 2 nights we need to take off for other games. But I am enjoying this so far. I do wish the characters would talk to each other a little bit more while we're just running around in the world.
Yeah, I think unfortunately much of the character interaction is going to occur inside the headspace.
Yeah, which is, you know, that's a good point.
Maybe when you get to certain heart levels with them, they have something new to say. Oh, unless you're recording this.
I'm still recording.
Okay.
Ravanavar is a complicated man. Whatever he's doing, I'm sure he has his reasons. I've eaten meals that were more complicated. We should not be doing this.
Where's your sense of adventure? And your sense of saving the world? Climbing Mount Sumeru without permission goes against everything I was taught as a protector. Well, we're here now. Let's make the best of it. Okay, so that's their spot off to the side, because they were training... Well, he was already part of the clan, and she was...
Yeah, I just want to check
Maybe they have something new to say for every leg of the adventure.
Yeah, it's every zone we go into, they have something new to say.
There was an arrow on her, though. Did you see it go
up?
Well,
that's the interaction button to talk to them.
Okay. I've been thinking, the inside of your brain is actually nicer than my house was. Is that good? Good is a relativistic construct born of human societal norms, Ajna. Oh.
Anyway, is this a pre-release copy? Thoughts so far? I mean, if it looks good so far, buy it because it's real good. One fair thing is, if you're not very good at, like, high reflex blocks...
Timing.
And timing and stuff, this is actually probably going to be one of the harder RPGs. From, like, a mechanical and a reflex standpoint. Because normally with these games, it's turn-based. Like, you can just say, like, alright, whatever, I'm just gonna, like, set my Dragon Quest crew to just auto and kick the shit out of everything. Not so with this game. You really have to pay attention to what you're doing. Oh, the difficulty adjusts automatically if you start losing. Really? Oh, that's really nice. I like that. I like that a lot, actually. Like, that's a really smart way of doing it. It's like, okay, you get beaten a couple of times, game gets easier. I kind of wish more games had that, though at the same time, it'd also be nice if you could disable that, if you really want to, like, push yourself to the limit. But that's okay, kind of okay.
Did you want to improve attack or defense?
Oh, I can't yet. I sense that you are now strong enough to receive my teachings. Using the ring cell's power, I can enhance your defensive capabilities. I'll need 5 for the first infusion. So, currently, I'm doing fine without too much on the defensive. I'll probably get his first defensive upgrade.
Ooh, can you jump up?
Yep. Because this is where Ginseng is. I keep wanting to call her Susie, because she's like... Well, the interesting thing is, Ginseng and Razmi are like... The two... It's like...
They're the character tropes for...
Yeah, they're the two friends from Little Witch Academia, but their personality... Or they're a bit flipped. Because This is the other friend. Susie was the weird,
nerdy
like,
friend.
mushroom one.
Yeah, there was the nerdy glasses friend.
Yeah, nerdy glasses friend, but with the proclivities of Susie, and then vice versa. Well, not. I don't know. Whatever. It doesn't matter.
What's got you all riled up?
Like you don't know.
I for sure don't.
The Colgan Pantarata.
Wait, Pandarata? Oh, is this the plant that they were collecting?
It's probably Celigine, Pandorata.
So,
Because that looks like, you know how coelacanth is
Coelacanth?
C-O-E-L?
Oh, Coelogene.
Yeah, Coelogene Pandorata.
Pandorata. Coelogene Pandorata. Okay.
The Coelogene Pandarata. Is that a plant? It's the black orchid. I've been looking for one for ages. I finally find it, and before I can say anything, you step right on it.
Oh, I'm sorry? I didn't see anything.
A likely story.
You owe me one healthy Coelogene Pandorata, Ajna. Wait, so now she needs a black orchid, or is that just a funny thing that they're arguing about?
That's just a thing they're arguing about. Anyway, so let's save.
Again.
Because, yeah, this is a real good game. It's everything I was hoping it would be. Though, I will admit, I kind of knew it was going to be going into it, because I'd played that entire previous level before. With, like, a couple of cutscenes missing, but, like, it's a pretty damn good game. It looks great, it plays great, music's great, and it's got one of the more unique combat systems I've seen. I think my only mild grump about this game is purely just... it doesn't seem like you can customize your character's abilities in any way, shape, or form.
Which is why they give you 15 plus
Yeah.
characters from what I
there's-
was seeing.
There's no character customization, it's just what interesting abilities do you want to utilize in each situation. And so I'm probably going to end up falling into kind of a handful of favorites that I alternate between. And then end up just kind of neglecting Dar forever because he doesn't have a down attack. He's got that buff. I like the idea of the buff, but I'd rather have like a character that just buffs the whole group's damage or something. There's a couple of different characters that we'll find later on that I think are closer to what I'm looking forward to.
I hope we also see some more fully animated cutscenes too.
Because
the last one was more of like a stills.
So
with
we're
some
not
movement.
going to see anything else on par with the intro, because that was actually animated by, I want to say that was Studio Trigger.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
So they commissioned it in a way.
Yeah, so they hired the people that made, I think it was Gurren Lagann?
Mm-hmm.
They were the ones that did Kill la Kill, specifically. And...
oh, okay. That
yeah,
makes
so
sense.
those people do some... yeah, should be by Trigger. Thought so. Yeah, those people do some really impressive work, and I can only imagine most of the cutscenes are going to be a little bit more stillish. I'm fine with that, honestly. It would be awesome if Studio Trigger started farming out cutscenes to games like this, because, boy, I would love that. A lot of games could use some really sweet cutscenes. But that probably gets really expensive really fast.
Mm-hmm. Especially for 2D animation,
Yeah.
unfortunately, which
But
I
it's
love
worth
2D
it, though.
animation.
It looks good.
Mm-hmm.
Anyway, so for now, I'm going to let my hands rest, because this was fun. This was a lot of fun.